שלום רב וברוכים הבאים לפסטיבל הקולנוע הרומני בישראל, מהדורת 2025. נמצא כאן איתי היום הבימאי אנדריי, בימאי הסרט השבוע הקדוש, The Holy Week, ספטמונה מראה, הנה אמרתי את זה בכל השפות המיידיות. אנדריי הוא יהודי, הוא ביסס את הסרט שלו על יצירה ספרותית, ואנחנו נדבר איתו עכשיו באנגלית, על מנת לגלות הרבה יותר פרטים. Good day, Mr. Khan.
Good day to you too.
So let's begin with a bit of background. You started from fine art schools and you painted most of your life. So can I define you as a painter?
Well, not really for the sake of truth. Well, it's true that I had spent so many years in fine art school. So, but then finding myself alone in the studio, I decided about myself not being a painter for the rest of my life. So I never had the exhibit, only in school while I was a student in school. Uh, and I've decided to go into a different artistic direction, let's say, but I'm still drawing a lot. And in
So you
regard of the,
paint all through your life, but you don't have it
yeah,
as a
well,
profession.
I'm not, I've paint for many years, but I'm not doing it anymore, but I'm drawing a lot.
Okay.
I'm drawing my movies. And I think is important for speaking about this movie that I'm working with the same DOP, my friend Andrei Butica, who did graduate fine arts high school, and we're drawing a lot before doing our movies.
Well,
So
it shows.
it's involved some fine arts background
Yeah.
in my movies, but well, I'm not a painter, and I was not.
So the Holy Week is actually your third feature.
Yes, true.
How do you decide about a subject? What interests you when you think about making a new movie?
You know, in fact, for me, the roots of my movies are always a bit blurry. Um, let's say I start with some. I've started with some existentialistic interest in being a Jew in a foreign country. I've started in a certain country, and I've started trying to write some things. I never managed to finalize a good one. And I simply remember that this story of Caragiale, I always love it. I always find it interesting. And I thought about making an
An
adaptation
adaptation.
out of it. So, well, this was the story of this.
So actually, his story, Caragiale, one of the biggest people in culture, in writing in Romania, was your inspiration.
Yes, yeah, I always describe him like being the one writer who know us Romanian, the
Okay, I
people,
was
the
about to
best.
ask if you mean Romanians or Jews.
Yeah, I mean everybody. He's having a very good eye in depicting our inner delicate
Yes.
problems and the way we express them. And well, is the one I love the most out of the Romanian literature. And well, as you see, it was a simple pass in
I have
having this
something to share
decision.
here that relates to what you just said. I was born in Romania, but I came as a very young girl. So everything I need to know about Romania, I learned through the years from my family and so on. And when I learned about Carajale and then started reading, I was told by people at home that he was not anti-Semitic and he's a person that always writes reality and understands the Romanian, just as you said, and he knows how to portray it very well in his writing. So it correlates very well to what I know from home and
True.
what you just said. Of course, he had the gift of writing, but he knew what to write.
He, he had a lot of humor and he was always very ironical.
Hmm.
That's why many people considered him like being anti something, but he was not. In fact, he was just
A mirror.
ironical enough. In fact, the way we have to be.
Yes. So the movie is called The Holy Week. In English, Săptămâna Mare, with the definition of it in Romanian. Was it the original name of the movie, or you had in mind
No,
something else?
yes, yes. I had in mind something completely different. Initially, it was called gefilte fish. It
Completely
is
different.
completely different, yes. And well, the reason behind was something like, as I've told you, initially the simple plan behind was to be a movie about a foreign somebody with a lot of pressure on it, having terrible reactions. Simple like that. But in order to express that somebody is a foreigner, I believe that that food is telling you a lot from the point of view of senses, with
Okay.
not so many explanations. And I've realized that in Romania, very few people know what gefilte fish means and is. And it sounds for me in that respect like an alien food.
Okay.
Like somebody is eating without you understanding what did that is. So, well, this was the initial plan of the title uh, to speak about the food you
You
don't
don't know.
understand. You don't know, you don't understand how come you skin a fish, you put something in it, very weird habit for the ones who are not used with. And well, this was the initial title, but
So
then
from something very Jewish, you went to something very Christian, the Holy
yeah,
Week,
without the intention to point something of being a Christian or not, but with the intention to depict
that
the
everybody understands.
yeah, and it's simply about the time when the action is taking place, and you
Okay.
are free to have any interpretation out of that. But it initially was gefilte fish.
Okay, very interesting. Thank you. So, how do you feel that the movie that happens so many years ago at the beginning of last century, how well does it correlate to things happening today in our world and specifically in Romania?
Well, this is very tough and hard question. Everything correlates with everything if you want to see certain things. I have to say that I write this one in 2019.
Okay.
So, of course, didn't. I haven't had a clue about how things will go.
Didn't anticipate
Uh,
what's going on
yeah,
today.
of course, it would have been impossible. At that moment, I was thinking about the early days of the 20th century, and I described this small story like being taking place just before the biggest nightmares of the 20th century.
As you
Uh,
define them.
well, speaking about the Holocaust, speaking about the Bolshevism after, and so on. Now finding that we're still running in the same circle of evil uh, in 21st century, of course we are all sad about that, but I haven't had any intentions in depicting aspects of nowadays. Uh,
Okay.
yeah, I thought that this could play an archetypical role of a foreign somebody trying to manage, trying to deal, um, having this, doing this social ballet in trying to accommodate life in a foreign environment.
Okay.
Let's say. So this was the simple story behind the meaning.
Now, how did the Romanian audience react to the movie?
Well, Romanian audience is not something in itself. Romanian audience, like every audience, is something very diverse. So when it happened that we, the directors, the writers of our movies, we find out only the good things. Very rarely somebody is calling you to tell that you did an awful job. So, well, I can't say so much about that. Of course, I heard that some were angry, portraying well, nasty people in the countryside of Romania, and some saying, which is untrue as well, that well, this is how we are in fact, and this is the cruel reality of our roots. This is wrong as well, because people are no good or bad, are simply diverse. So, well, I can't say more about that. In general, I read some good things about the movie. I tried not to speak in black and white about an anti-Semitic environment and a poor Jewish family. Everybody's having its faults in this movie, and well, I only wish to open discussion, but not to point fingers
Okay.
on
You want people to
victims.
open up to something.
Yeah, of course, of course. I think this is this is what a movie should do. In fact, it's not propaganda. It's not. I don't try to fix history with the movies. I just want to speak about people facing history and dealing with it.
Okay. Now, the artistic choices were very successful, I must say, and the movie is beautiful. It's just beautiful. What were your thoughts about shooting the movie? Are you using storyboards? How do you work when you think artistically about the look of a movie?
Yeah, thank you for saying that. It was a big effort along with my friends, the set designer, the costume designers, the DOP, which is a good friend of mine, Andrei Butica. Yes, well, we are drawing a lot. He did graduate fine arts as well. So yes, I'm doing storyboards, but I'm ready to skip them while shooting.
On set.
So I'm always going having a good plan. I'm afraid of not ruining the chance of shooting a movie. But when I feel secure and in control of things, I forget my storyboards.
Okay.
And well, and on top, the place is great. We had the luck of finding this very
Beautiful
remote
location.
place in Romania. Yes.
Can you tell us more about this choice of location where you shot? It looks like a picture itself when you do a
This
freeze
is
on the movie.
It's deep inside the Dobroja, close to the Danube River and the Black Sea. It's a very wild and forgotten place. And I find that this raw, very primitive and aggressive feel of the nature will support the movie. On top, the beauty of it, I thought that is helping the story in regards of this simple idea that we the people who are bringing the dirt in the world. The nature is not guilty of anything. It should be beautiful. I don't like movies when the nature is giving support to the drama with a lot of mud, a lot of black and whites, and I don't know, aggressive feeling in it, like the protagonist not having any chance of not doing evil in this
Okay.
environment.
Did you have to build everything from scratch, or did you use any local houses you found at the area?
We build a lot, but we did it on top of
Some base.
some base, but very small ones. So this inn was in fact a very small house, but we liked very much the location of it, being on that height from where he can observe everything like a fort, let's say.
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
it looks like it, definitely. Um, did you have a certain goal that except for people talking about the movie or talking about the ideas that this movie, the issues that are brought up, did you have a certain thing in mind that when you started to make the movie that you wanted it to be expressed?
I simply wished, I simply was wishing to get rid of some stories I had in mind and some problems because paying so much effort in doing a movie after you finalize it, you are not able anymore to think on all these things. And while my movies are not about very happy moments of life, I'm so happy of getting rid of this thing. So this is what I'd manage, and this is what I'd wish with
Okay.
this. For the rest, I don't have any intention in manipulating significations and stuff. I respect each perspective on my movie, and I simply leave it to the people the way it is. And I hope to open these discussions with more the discussions involved in the movie with more nuances. Uh,
Okay.
this is everything I wish out of it
Let's
yet.
talk a bit about the casting in the movie. There are great
Oh,
actors.
thank
Uh,
you so much.
they match very well with the types of people they portray. And did you have in mind someone where the auditions very long? How
Yes,
did
I
you?
had in mind some characters, but I've changed my mind while doing casting.
Okay.
I had the chance, even if it sounds weird, but I had the chance of having time during the pandemic to have a very, very long casting, and like that, I managed to find beautiful actors, I think, and so many of them are debutants, so I'm happy with that. Because
Okay.
I hear often that people are pretty happy with the job they did, and well, I'm happy because they were very scared, and I was very scared as well.
Why were you scared?
Well, you know,
Anxious, maybe?
that with the actors. being for the first time on screen, you don't have anything to check, let's say. Is will be your movie the first one to be checked.
Yes. Well,
And
still
well,
something beautiful when
it's
you think.
like swimming in very deep waters, but they were fantastic, not only in terms of acting, but they were great in terms of humanity, and we end up,
Working process.
yes, fantastic people, and we're still very good friends. And after a long and difficult project like this one, being still friends is a good sign.
Okay. How much does this movie correlate with, if at all, with any aspects of your life being a Jew?
Well,
You-
not at all.
No.
Not at all. I had a pretty good life in
You
Romania,
didn't feel
Bucharest.
people talking
No,
about, no.
very, very, I don't know, marginal, mm, like everybody else. Nothing special. Of course, being a Jew, from time to time you hear stupid things, but it's not something to be remembered. None
Okay,
of them.
this is good to hear. Uh,
Yeah, now in social media, my girls are receiving some horrible messages from time to time. But when I was at their age, there was not the case of having this long feeds of anonymous writers.
yes.
So,
Okay. Is
but with
there
me,
a cer
everything was good.
is there a certain message or wish or something you would like to tell our audience just 1 minute before seeing the movie?
Well, as you see, I'm never as precise as that. I only wish to survive the 2 hours and 15 minutes of tough and intense moments, and well, nothing else. I hope, I'm repeating myself, to reopen the discussion, because they were never being closed, with more nuances, more doubts, because we are living in this world of pointing fingers to enemies, and by simply uh, reading stories which are not as precise, not as clear as our thoughts, um, maybe it helps.
Okay. And my last question, how accurate are all the religious aspects in the movie? I mean, we actually see more of the Holy Week
Mhm.
before the Christian uh, Passover, if we can say this, if we can
Mhm.
call it like this, and maybe less of the Jewish one, or maybe a bit less. What is the
I-
proportion and how accurate is it? I mean, someone who doesn't know anything about it, can they learn something new?
Not really, not really. I'm not very rigorous with these aspects, because I believe that people are not very rigorous with these aspects. They believe about themselves like being, but they are not in fact, and they are doing a lot of mistakes. And when you are hearing their opinions, you find out that things are even worse. So they are
Okay.
doing a lot of mistakes in terms of opinions, in terms of rituals, in terms of everything. And on top, this guy, the main character, he's isolated, is alone, far from any Jewish community, and it was like that since a long time. The same way I am. Let's say I'm not living in a Jewish community. I am far from everything. I simply remember some rituals from my childhood, from my grandparents, but everything is diluted, and I believe that I have as well many wrong and not rigorous opinions in regards of these aspects. So it's not accurate. There are mistakes,
Okay.
many. many of them.
But it is combined well in the story, in the way it is shown after all.
Well, hope to work. Let's put it like that.
It works.
But
Okay,
it
just works.
is yeah. It just hope that it worked like that. But otherwise, if somebody is picky, will find many. Um, the dialect, the Romanian dialect. On top of that, is very diverse. Some modern stuff is inserted in it. Dialects from all around the country. I've shot in Dobroja not only because I found this beautiful location, but on top of that, Dobroja is this place in Romania where everybody is a foreigner.
Hmm.
Is Turks, Tatars, Jews, Romanians, Bulgarians, Russian, is everybody, and they are speaking a mix, and their rituals are a mix of everything.
Which makes everything more interesting.
Yeah, so, well, this is the perspective on rigorosity regarding culture.
Okay. Mr. Andrei Kohn, I thank you very much for this time you spent for this interview, and I welcome people to come and watch this beautiful and important movie. השבוע הקדוש מופיע במספר סינמטקים, עקבו אחרי הפרסומים, ואנחנו נשמח מאוד לראות אתכם. תודה וצפייה מהנה.